In the whimsical and often lighthearted world of SpongeBob Squarepants, there lurks an establishment that has always been shrouded in a shadow of mystery and unease. The Chum Bucket, owned and operated by the conniving Plankton, this restaurant has never been able to compete with the success of the Krusty Krab, largely due to the unpalatable nature of its signature product, Chum. But what if there's a deeper, more sinister reason behind the Chum Bucket's notoriety? This theory explores the dark possibilities of what Plankton's chum might actually be made from and the eerie implications of its often unsettling characteristics. In the real world, chum is used in fishing and is generally a mixture of fish parts, blood, and other materials used to attract predatory fish to a specific area. It creates a scent trail in the water which fish detect from a distance and helps hold them in the area for easier capture. Common ingredients include fish heads, guts, bones, blood, round fish, and fish oil with occasional additives. Chum can be prepared as frozen blocks, mesh bags, and tossed directly into the water, and is primarily used in saltwater fishing for species like sharks and tuna, though it can also be effective in freshwater fishing for species like catfish. One of the most chilling theories about the origin of Plankton's chum suggests that, like in the real world, it's made out of fish. But the problem is that in SpongeBob, all fish are sentient, smart, have feelings, and are the characters we love and follow throughout the series. So in other words, Plankton makes his chum out of people living or that used to live in Bikini Bottom. So where does he get the fish needed to make his chum? Does he murder random people in Bikini Bottom, people that were foolish enough to eat in his restaurant and that were then made into chum by Plankton? Of course that's a possibility, but I don't think that's it. Maybe it has more to do with the Bikini Bottom Cemetery. In several episodes, we have seen the morbid presence of the cemetery where the deceased citizens of Bikini Bottom find their final resting place. Could it be that Plankton, in his desperation to make a successful restaurant, has resorted to using the remains of recently deceased fish to produce his chum? This theory posits that Plankton, perhaps under the cover of night, ventures into the cemetery to retrieve bodies. The chum then could be round of fish remains, which would explain its particularly revolting taste and texture. This horrible practice would not only be a violation of ethical and moral boundaries, but would also introduce a host of health hazards, explaining why the Chum Bucket never attracts customers. The sporadic appearances of eyes, organs, and other body parts in the chum could be the result of imperfect processing. Plankton, lacking sophisticated equipment, might be unable to completely pulverize the bodies, leading to these horrifying remnants. This would also explain why the chum sometimes seems to be alive. Could be that the tissues are not entirely dead or have been somehow reanimated by the chemicals Plankton uses in his concoctions. Another disturbing possibility is that Plankton's chum is the result of a deal made with human fishermen. Fishermen often use chum as bait, and it's typically made from the leftover parts of fish that humans consider undesirable. In this theory, Plankton, desperate to find a cost-effective and steady supply of chum, strikes a deal with this fisherman. He may not fully understand what chum is made of, or worse, he might be fully aware but turns a blind eye to its origin out of desperation. Human fishermen could be providing Plankton with chum made from fish that are unfit for human consumption, which could include deceased or contaminated fish. It would explain the foul taste and why the chum is sometimes found to contain eyes, organs, and other unsettling elements. The chum might even be the byproduct of fishing practices that are illegal or unethical, such as bycatch or the use of endangered species. One of the most chilling aspects of Plankton's chum is its occasional appearance of being alive. This leads to the unnerving possibility that the chum might actually be sentient. In this theory, the chum could be composed of organisms that are not entirely dead or have been reanimated in some way. These organisms might have a rudimentary form of consciousness, leading to the unsettling behaviors observed in the chum. The idea of sentient chum adds a layer of existential horror to SpongeBob, and the Chum Bucket, the thought that the chum might be aware of its own existence, trapped in a grotesque and painful state, is deeply disturbing. Each of these theories adds a layer of horror to Plankton's character and the Chum Bucket itself, suggesting that the dark and often overlooked corners of Bikini Bottom might hide secrets far more sinister than anyone could have imagined. Whether driven by desperation, madness, or a twisted sense of ambition, Plankton's actions, as suggested by these theories, reveal a depth of depravity that transforms the lighthearted world of SpongeBob Squarepants into a setting for a truly disturbing narrative. Follow me if you want to watch more funny videos like this one.